Okay, today we're going to do the choux paste again, but this time we are going to pipe them into long finger-like shapes to make chocolate eclairs. So just like the pâte à choux, the choux paste or cream puffs that we made the other day, we're going to use the same technique, same pastry, and this time we're just going to pipe it into long finger-like pastries where we can fill with cream and put a chocolate coating on top, a glaze. Okay, so let's start. I've got the oven preheated already at 450 degrees. Rack's in the middle position. We're going to combine the water and margarine or butter. Into the pan and put that onto high heat to bring up to a boil. Okay. We're going to get that butter melted in there. Once we bring that up to a boil and get the butter or margarine all melted, we're going to put our flour and salt in all at once. Okay, so we want some nice big bubbles going. A nice rolling boil. We'll add our salt and our flour all at once in there, and we're going to cook that up. Stir, stir, stir. I'm going to turn that heat down a little bit so we don't burn it. Get that flour mixed right in there, and it should look like dry mashed potatoes. Okay, so that's the goal. We're trying to get it to look like dry mashed potatoes. And it should all come together like a ball. Okay, see how it's coming together like a ball? Okay, we're going to take that off the heat now once it comes together into a paste or a ball. Okay, and you want a lot of that steam to be coming out for it to be nice and thick and for that flour to cook up a little bit. So now we are on that was step number 2, add flour and salt all at once over medium heat. So we've turned the heat down and we cook this until the mixture leaves the side of the pot and becomes a ball of dough. Okay. Next one, we're going to take it off the heat entirely. Okay. And then we're going to let it cool just a little bit. So stir that up just to let that paste cool. We don't want to add our eggs in right away because it will cook the eggs. So we want to stir that up to get some of that heat out of there. Okay, once that is cooled slightly, you should be able to touch it. Okay. If it's still too hot to touch, you want to stir that until it's a little cooler. Otherwise, you're going to scramble your eggs in there. I've been stirring for just a couple minutes here. Probably a good minute, and I wanted to get some of that heat out of there. That feels good now. Okay, I should be able to definitely put my finger into that mixture without it burning my hand. Okay, you of course want to just put it in and out. You don't want to burn your finger, but just give it a little touch there. Okay, now we're going to put in 1 egg at a time, and we're going to beat this really well until it's smooth and shiny. Okay. It will make your arms sore. It should. You could use an electric mixer at this point, but I want to show you that you don't necessarily need special equipment to make a choux paste. Okay. So stir that in. You see how it's separating at first, but you can get it mixed in. Just keep stirring and it will get stirred in, mixed in really well, and it will be a nice glossy paste. Make sure each addition of egg gets stirred in well. Okay, so 1 at a time, stir it in, and then you do your next one. See how that looks a lot smoother now, not separated. Okay, my arm is already tired and I still have 1 more egg to put in there. So I tilted that to the side to make sure I get all that paste in there. Scrape all that paste. Get it all mixed into the egg. Okay, we don't want it looking separated like that. We want to really stir that in and make sure it is blended together. And like I said, this is a really good workout for your arms. You're not going to the gym these days, so you might as well bake. With all that kneading and all this stirring, you're gonna have good arm muscles, pipes on those arms. All right, it's nice and smooth. I've been beating this for a few minutes now to get it well incorporated. It should be a nice, thick, smooth, glossy paste, okay? Not separated at all. Okay, now that we've got our nice smooth paste and my arm is very sore, I'm going to show you how to use the Ziploc bag to pipe instead of a piping bag if you don't have a piping bag at home. So just like the piping bag, I'm going to fold this corner to make it look like the piping bag. This will be the corner we cut. I'm going to put that into the cup and open this up just as if it was a piping bag, just like that. See? Okay, we're going to scoop our batter in, our choux paste. Okay, make sure there's no air in there, so I'm going to push that. Pick it up now and check that there's no air pockets. It's nice and smooth. Okay, we'll zip that up, pushing any air out as I zip it up. So seal that plastic bag. Remember, I've got it folded in half. You could put a little piece of tape here if it helps you out. And we're going to twist the top just like you would the top of a piping bag. Now notice I have not cut the hole yet. Okay, so now that I've got the top twisted, I can cut the hole. You want a smaller hole at first. You can always cut it bigger if you need to. But I'd say about 1.5 centimeters across, or I kind of just use a judgment of about a finger should fit into there. Okay, so there we go. Okay, so I got about 10 out of there. I made them a slight bit smaller than the recipe actually wants you to because I'm going to cook mine a little bit less time. So you do have to be careful about just following a recipe about your timing. The recipe said to make 6 to 8. I've made 10, so I'm going to check my timing a little bit earlier than the time it says here. So the baking time is 15 to 20 minutes. I'll check them at 15. Now, my last one was a little bit odd shaped, so I'm going to take some water and we can smooth out some of these pointy tips with your finger dipped in water. A wet finger and just pat down the shape. You can even manipulate it if you find your shape is really odd or uneven. Just take a wet finger and pat it down. Your finger being wet will help it not stick to your finger. Then we're going to pop these into the oven for 10 minutes without opening the door. No peeking, okay? And then after that point, we're going to reduce the heat and bake another 15 minutes, okay? After that, we're going to split open the side to dry out the middles. Alright, I wanted to show you the glaze now. Just keep stirring the milk, vanilla, and icing sugar and cocoa together and you will get this lovely smooth glaze. Okay, that's what you will dip the tops of your eclairs in. Now the recipe says to also take out any of these extra bits of dough in here in case they are too moist. Okay, so if you have any like that, you can take them out. Honestly, I don't like wasting them. I don't mind eating them, but to be a purist, you shouldn't have those extra bits in there if you want to be a purist. Now, you could also use the spoon to make sure you got some coverage on there, if there's any spots missing. Okay, and then you can let that glaze set. Okay, it will set. So you put that one beside there. So I wanted to show you, you'll glaze the tops of each one. Okay, but I also wanted to show you how to fill the middle of it if you don't have a piping bag. So again, remember I want to show you the Ziploc bag. Okay, we're going to again put the point of it into the mug like so, and then fold over the edge. Okay, then you can take your rubber spatula and scoop your cream into there. Remember, this is the pastry cream folded with the whipped cream. And you can just use that Ziploc bag as a piping bag. Okay, so once you've got your cream in here, lift that up. Make sure it's all into the corner with no bubbles. Okay, I like to fold over that edge so it doesn't go everywhere. And then zip that up, making sure there's no air bubble in there. Once that's in there, you can cut the corner off. Always cut smaller at first, and you can always go bigger after. Here are a couple of other options of how to finish them up.